with a chance to take the lead. Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off. This game is over.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 12 Minutes Every Time. I'm Mike Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey, and we're here to do the Week 9 review of the horrible loss to the Baltimore Ravens, 37-3. We looked really bad on all three assets of the game, and it was just all around. This podcast won't be too positive by any means. So, anyways, as usual, this is 12 minutes, so we're going to start the timer now. All right, Ryan. I kind of wanted to talk about Shane Waldron and Andy Dickerson first, looking like they were underprepared or just made no in-game adjustments. Before the podcast, you made a good point about the second half. We really didn't even come out and change anything or come out with any more extra effort or something along those lines. So I'll just let you start. What are your first original thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing positive really came out from the game. It's definitely the worst game I've experienced in the Pete Carroll era. I don't think we've ever been outscored this much. I don't think we've ever not had a fight in the game. You know, we've usually, for like the longest time, we've never even lost a game by like more than like a touchdown.
That's right.
And to lose by 34 points against a team that I didn't think was that talented. I didn't think it was more talented than us going into the game, you know?
Yeah. And they showed different for sure on game day, but I still don't think we're as bad as how we looked. And or they might be as good as how they looked because we look so bad as well. It goes hand in hand.
I think that it's just annoying to see that, yes, we got punched in the mouth and we were getting beat up in that first half. And not even first half, it's just really the second quarter they started to beat us up. And then we didn't come out in the second half to actually have any fight. Like we didn't fight back. Like we just got rolled over. And then that was how the Rams game was too. It's like we got beat up and then why can't we come back and fight, beat them back? So it's just like, it's something weird. And I wonder if that's, it could be coaching, but where's our leaders, right? Like who on the captains are really yelling and getting things going? Do some younger guys need to start stepping up and yelling at the younger guys? Like, you know, I'm wondering if we miss Abraham Lucas. Like maybe that guy, he's a big boy who came out there. He's got a lot of feistiness in him. Maybe he could say some things if he was out there on that field. I don't know.
No, that's a great point. You know, when you brought that up, we didn't talk about that earlier. Is Geno? You know, why wasn't Geno being more vocal? Geno's not Russ. You know, he's not going to act like Russ is, where they're going to get in Russ's face, where Geno might need to get in their face in a sense, or maybe the right person's face. Maybe he needs to team up with Lockett or something. But you're right about Lucas as well. You know, maybe someone who's just that big of a man. He came in as a rookie, did not expect to start. Immediately starts. Maybe we miss him a lot too. The right side of our offensive line definitely misses his talent, but leadership, you're right. Who knows? But I did see one video where Witherspoon and Adams were getting into it. So you said young guys need to chirp up. Witherspoon was very adamant towards Adams on the bench, and Adams was cool. Everything was cool. It just looked like you know what was nice? It looked like they cared. They cared.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I always thought it was weird. You brought up Geno for a second. You know, I'm not trying to like diss on Geno because the whole game was Geno's fault. I really don't think he had enough time to throw the ball. I don't think we had a run game in plan. Like, you know, I don't think everything was his fault in this game. Like maybe some would on Seahawks Twitter, but you know, I always thought it was weird that he wasn't captain last year, and then this year he's captain. So, and you know, quarterbacks are usually always captain. You know what I mean? Like that's just, you have to be a quarterback. Yes. And Pete said that before. He's like, oh, I liked Wilson because he was a leader, an outspoken person, and Charlie Whitehurst wasn't. So that's why he didn't like him, right? And that's why he didn't want to keep that guy around, right? But he wanted to keep someone like Wilson around. And then you saw that Geno wasn't even a captain. So it's just like, you know, it's weird. It's a weird situation. And if your quarterback's not, you know, getting you right, you know, especially after a rough first half, then I don't know. It's weird. It's something to think about, right? That
right. You know, maybe he didn't even need to go to another player. Maybe he needed to go to Waldron or the quarterback's coach.
Yeah,
you know, and vent through him and you know, lead through that portal, then on to another player. Because like we mentioned, it was a lot of the play calling really, wasn't maybe dynamic is the word. Or there was no, it was weird. In the beginning of the season, that was our strengths. We had, unique formations, and we utilized our tight ends a lot. And it seems like we've gone away from that. The little bit of conspiracy in me is, I thought this was Cincinnati as well. Is like, do we really hold back a lot of our plays because it's a road game against the AFC, and we really don't bust out the playbook as much? Pete's going to win. He wants to win, but are there times where we really hide things down because we're going to open it up more against the Niners and the Rams?
Yeah, I don't know. And our preview, but in our preview, we wanted to talk about how we needed to establish the run on offense, and we just didn't do that. We didn't even get out there and try. I don't know what we were doing. But then again, you mentioned it before the pre-podcast about how Charbonnet outsnapped, Walker again, and that's because we're stuck in third down situations trying to pass the ball. And I get it. I don't want to force feed running if it's not going anywhere, but we need to establish that run again, dude. Where is that? Where is that thing? 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
And I don't like it. We run the football. That's what we do. 2 weeks in a row, no running the football. I don't like it.
And once again, that goes back to Andy Dickerson and Shane Waldron, and maybe it is getting Lucas back a lot, and having that right lane, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, is that we liked that all these players were moving around at different positions, and every week it was different, but it was successful. And now it's not successful. Now quickly, that frustrates us, and we don't like that. So Lucas coming back would be a huge opportunity, but that probably won't be till at the Rams.
Yeah, and here we go. This is what we saw. Easy stunts not being picked up, right? Did not see us picking up easy stunts, right? I saw easy sacks on Geno. Geno not having enough time to throw the ball. But Geno did have enough time to throw the ball. JSN drop pass, right? Miscommunications twice with Tyler Lockett. Super weird, right? No bootlegs, right? No establishing the run. Jason Peters completely destroyed a drive for us at one point.
Yeah, you're right.
With back-to-back penalties and just not just getting beat terribly.
Yeah.
I just didn't see. There just was it was a lot of things that were happening, and it just was nonstop, and it was happening from everyone, and everyone was getting beat. It was just crazy to watch. There was nothing positive about the offensive side. Getting batted balls down, easily batted balls. You couldn't even get the ball out. And then just walks off the field. Yeah. 1 of 12 from third downs, an insane amount of badness. And then, and we should move over to the defensive side, is that on the defensive side, we couldn't stop the run to save our life at all. Get no contain on the outside, right? No contain for Lamar getting the ball. He beats us in the second quarter drastically with his runs. And then the second half, they pound the rock right at the front because we're so worried about Lamar.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Notice who's definitely been missed. Real quick, on third downs, we have the most 3 and outs. We're number 5 at 38%. And then on our defensive side, unfortunately, we've given up the most as well, 5th as well. So anyways, that's not good,
Yeah, no, it's the play calling. That has to be the play calling. That can't be. It can't just be on Geno. Or our defense. Tyler Lockett doesn't drop passes.
No.
DK is a power forward out there, right? He can box you out all day. JSN, shifty out there, right? We got 3 huge tight ends with hands. Walker had an incredible catch again out there. I don't understand. And no bootlegs. Give me a bootleg. We had bootlegs so much last year, and I love bootlegs.
Very interesting. We haven't seen that 2 tight ends and the fullback that was highlighted earlier in the year by Brian Baldinger. Bobo only had 9 snaps, so I'm curious to know where Waldron's taking this. Once again, I go back to my conspiracy that we just don't open up the playbook as much on the road against the AFC. Yeah. I don't really know, but there's definitely some glaring needs. defensively, like I said, I'm glad Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon had an okay game. I'm glad he got into a heated exchange, if you want to call it. I don't think they were arguing. They were probably just explaining each other's points. But Bobby, and you know what? Unfortunately, Bobby said this week that, hey, if I was the Washington Commanders, I would run the ball on us. And that's probably because of the last 2-week performances, you know.
Yeah, not being able to stop the run. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, real quick. Earlier in the season, we were stopping the run, and our pass defense wasn't that good. And then when Witherspoon came in his second game, that kind of shifted in a sense where our pass D really stepped up, but our run D's been bad lately.
Yeah, I don't know who's at fault for the run D. I don't know. I just don't know because I saw so many bad outside containments, right? You know, trying to stop the run from bouncing to the outside, and then I saw this little shifty guy.
Yeah,
what is Terrence Mitchell or something like that? Was his name? I can't remember his fucking name.
I can't.
But he just shifted right through us, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Gus Edwards dominated, running guys over. I don't know what to do to fix that. Like, I don't know. But I thought Bobby was the key to fix it, right? Like, he was the key to fix it. Like, that's what we kept saying in the beginning. Bobby's fixing our run game. Our run defense is back. We're going to dominate on the run defense. And that's not true at all. We cannot stop the run whatsoever. So I don't know who's at fault with that. I really don't know.
And I believe Draymond Jones didn't have a lot of snaps either, for whatever reason. Yeah, because not only Bobby, but Jerron Reed comes back. Now we have Leonard. I mean, if on paper, if you had Leonard Williams, Jerron Reed, and Draymond Jones with Bobby and Brooks, you know, that looks like we should be okay. But you're right, the outside contained with definitely missing Nwosu and Mafe. Even though he's really stepped it up, he's a second-year player and Hall's a rookie. So we have about 30 seconds left in this, Ryan. Did you want to finish up with special teams or anything else?
You know, Mafe was the highlight of the game because he dominated Stanley, dominated him, and got that sack. And then they had to start really focusing on him. So good for Mafe. Really proud for him. Definitely am. No, I didn't think Michael Dixon punted that well. I really don't. I think their punter outpunted us. And he did. He outpunted us by like 11 yards. His punts were longer by 11 yards. And less on average, and less punt yards back. So no return yards on our side, more return yards on their side. So punts weren't hang timing enough. They weren't long enough. It was ugly. It was just ugly on all sides of the football.
Very ugly in all three aspects of the game. We lost, and then we'll even add coaching. We were out coached. We were out hustled. It was just a terrible game. Well, that's 12 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're tied for first place now with the San Francisco 49ers. We'll be playing them in a few weeks on Thanksgiving night, but forget that. We need to win this week against the Commanders at home and get that bad taste out of our mouth. And you know what? We're going to have a preview for that, and we'll hopefully look forward to things that we can be positive about. So anyways, thank you as always. This is 12 minutes of your time. Go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks, baby. Woo!